Hi everyone, welcome to Mr. Dear Docs. If you are new to my channel, please watch the other working sessions from ASP.NET Core and Angular playlist. The links are provided in the description. In the last session, we learned about how to add dependency injection in Angular. In this video, we will learn about how to add dependency injection in ASP.NET Core. If you see, employee info control is taking care of the communicating with the DB, but as OOPS provides the solid principles, this should be separated from the employee info controller. By default, ASP.NET Core will support the dependency injection. Now we'll see how to utilize the ASP.NET Core dependency injection feature. I'm just providing the brief description about dependency injection here. If you see, ASP.NET Core supports the dependency injection software design pattern, which is a technique for achieving inversion of controller between classes and their dependencies. We will see what is a class and how the dependencies will be resolved using ASP.NET Core. A dependency is an object that another object depends on. If you see employee info controller, employee context is depending on employee info controller. Now we'll move this employee info context to other concrete class. ASP.NET provides a built-in service container, that is iService provider. Services are typically registered in startup.configure services. Let's begin the working session. Right click on the employee information, add new folder, naming it as repository. Now we are dealing with employee DB operations. That's the reason. Create a new item, interface, name it as iEmployee DB service. By default, this interface is private, but we need to implement this iEmployee DB service in the derived class. This interface contains 4 methods. Those are list employees, delete employee, insert employee, update employee. Let's see how to implement this list employee information. To do that, just copy this signature along with the method name. By default, all interface methods are public. Instead of IEnumerable, we will return list of employees information. Okay. To implement this iEmployee DB services, we need to create a concrete class. Right click on the repository, click on add, new item, class, employee DB service, which will take the responsibility of implementing the iEmployee DB service. To implement these methods, just use shortcut control dot, implement interface, click on implement interface. Now what we need to do is click on employee info controller, expand this method, copy this code and come back to our employee DB service, paste it here. The next step is like come back to our startup.cs. If you see, as we discussed, startup.configure services will take the responsibility of implementing the dependency injection. To do that, services are having different scope methods. Okay. We'll see like different scope methods and their service lifetimes in our upcoming sessions. For now, I'm using add scope. Add scope we have. To implement that interface, what we like, we need to copy this namespace, employee information.repository, come back to our startup, add that as in using statement iEmployeeDB service on the concrete class EmployeeDB service. With this, we are done with the registering our dependencies in configure services. Next, come back to our employee information controller. Injection of the services into the constructor of the class where it is used. This framework takes care of the responsibility of creating an instance of the dependency and disposing of it when it's no longer required. Okay. To do that, we need to create a constructor and add the iEmployeeDB service dependency injection, private, read only, iEmployeeDB service. To do that, come back to our iEmployeeDB service, copy this namespace and use it in the employee info controller. iEmployeeDB service, alias it as iEmployeeDB service. Now, constructor will take care of the responsibility of resolving the dependencies. EmployeeDB service. We will assign this dependency to our current EmployeeDB service. Read only is a keyword, indicates that assignments to the field can only occur as part of the declaration or in the constructor of the same class. That's the reason we use this read only keyword. Now we are done with the dependency injection. The next step is like remove this dependency completely from the employee information controller and give this dependency to the iEmployeeDB service. This dot EmployeeDB service contains the list all employees. Okay. Now, if you observe this employee info controller, the DB context is completely moved from employee info controller and given this responsibility to the constructor of the same employee info controller. Okay. These dependencies will be resolved from startup.configure.services. Okay. We will discuss about the scope level and service levels in our upcoming sessions. Let's see whether it is working without any issues or not, and we were able to see the list of information in the browser or not. Run it. Meanwhile, we'll talk about in our upcoming session video. If you expand Solution Explorer and observe the models, there is a class called employee context. If you see, we are storing the sensitive information in the employee context.cs. In real-time scenarios, this should be separated from the employee context.cs and should be read from app settings.json. Okay. In our upcoming session, we'll see how to separate this from employee context and read it through app settings.json. By default, ASP.NET Core contains iConfiguration services. Through the iConfiguration services, how to read this SQL connection string from the app settings.json. We'll discuss about this in our upcoming session. Come back to our browser and see it is still loading. As we discussed in our previous sessions, the very first time the application will take longer time than the subsequent requests. Let me put a debugger into employee info controller. Yes, the debugger came into employee info controller and the dependencies will be resolved in the constructor itself. Click F5, F10, navigate to actual implementation. The dependencies are resolved and dynamically the actual call happened to the list of employees to the concrete class employee DB service. The connection established successfully. Click F5 to see the information in the browser. We were able to retrieve the data successfully. Just stop the debugger. Try to follow the same approach to other HTTP methods, that is delete employee, insert employee, update employee. We'll implement these methods quickly. Just copy the signature, come back to our employee DB service, paste it in the below to the list of employees methods, come back to employee controller, copy the signature, we have one more method, bool update employee, copy the signature, come back to our employee DB service. Okay. Next step is like come back to employee DB service concrete. If you see over on it, employee DB service does not implement the other three methods. Click control dot employee interface. The next step is like as we discussed, just come back to our employee info controller, expand one by one method, copy this code. Now we are working on the delete employee. Copy the context code, come back to employee DB service, paste here. Next method is insert employee. Expand insert employee method. Do the same process. Repeat the same process. We have one last method, that is update employee. Come back to employee info controller. Expand this method. Copy the context and paste it into update employee. Now we are done with the all employee methods. Okay. Come back to employee info controller and give the responsibility to iEmployee DB service. Current object will hold the employee DB service object information. Delete employee. It is expecting employee ID parameter. Repeat the same process for other methods as well. This dot employee DB service insert employee, which is expecting employee info object. Delete this piece of code. Employee DB service update employee, which is expecting employee information object. Build the solution. We are completely done with the segregating employee info controller and given the responsibility to iEmployee DB service. Just come back to startup and observe this add scoped. These will call it as a service lifetime. Service lifetimes. In ASP.NET Core, there were three scoped service lifetime. They are add transient, add scoped, add singleton. We'll discuss about these service lifetimes in our upcoming sessions in detail with an example. Okay. Thanks for watching my video. As we discussed in our upcoming session, we'll discuss in detail on how to separate the SQL Server connection string from the employee context and read it from app settings.json with the help of iConfiguration services provided by ASP.NET Core. If you like this video, please subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.